That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Jason David Frank.
Boom shakalaka.
Please do not change channel.
Welcome back. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. That way you can keep coming back over and over to hang with us and our wonderfully talented and creative guests in the arts and entertainment world. I'm Allyson Murray, and right now we are at the Foothill Arts Center in Oneonta, New York for the second annual AuthorCon and Paranormal Horror Festival, hosted by Tiffany Ray, DTM Wicked Radio, and Denny Gager. And we are hanging with comic artist, actor, Rusty Gilligan. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Again, how you doing?
Good.
It's great seeing you, Allyson.
I know. It's great to see you.
Very much enjoyed talking to you the first time in my crappy, dirty office, which I never knew, by the way, that was video. I still think that's hysterical.
Oh my God.
But it's nice to be in person with you.
It really is. Again, this is like our third meeting.
Yes.
We didn't get to interview the first time we met.
The first time was at, what was it? The
HeroCon.
We need a HeroCon, right,
yes,
in New York, yeah.
New York, so.
That was a weird day.
I know it was. It really was.
You know, you can't, when you go to shows, you can't tell how many people are going to come.
I know.
You can advertise, you can put up billboards, I've seen it all over the years. I've done shows and appearances since the 70s. And
I know.
You can't tell. One show that I was at had major stars, had amazing events, coloring for kids, they had make your own robot, they had all this nonsense. And then I think there was maybe 5 people through the door the whole day.
Oh,
you can't tell.
You cannot predict what. No, you just
it's
can't.
impossible, and you can't be mad at a promoter. If they do their job, they do their job.
Exactly. So we're just going to get people caught up with who Rusty is, and then we'll continue on from there. Rusty has done storyboards.
That's right.
For Spider-Man 2 and 3, The Walking Dead in 2010, Heavy Metal.
Yes, my first official film, and probably the best job I've ever worked on.
Oh, really?
They always say the first is the best. In my case, the first was the only. Everything else was just gravy after that, but that was the best job I ever had.
Awesome.
God bless those people. That was the best job ever. And the funny thing was, when I worked on the film, I wasn't even old enough to go see it in the theaters. I had to wait a couple of years before I could actually see it.
Oh my gosh.
There was no internet, there was no DVDs, there was no nothing at the time. So I had to wait and see it at a midnight showing in North Hollywood, California.
Oh my God.
Literally, I had my ID, and they'd be like, "Are you 18 years old?" And I show my ID, and they're like, "Oh, you just turned 18 today."
Come on in.
Yes, yeah. At that time, I was welcome. There was probably 2 people in the theater, and one of them was asleep. And I finally got to see it. It was great.
That's awesome. He was also a production artist for The Vampire Santa, The Vampire Who Saved Christmas, and Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Yes, those are all coming up. Dead Men Tell No Tales is a very interesting horror film, and the vampire set that you mentioned is with Sal Lizard, who's a combination of a radio personality, an entertainer, an actor, a cosplayer. He's the Vampire Santa, and I've been good friends with Sal for many years, and those projects are still coming up, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, horror is kind of an unusual genre, because for a long time people would go see certain genres and they would mature over time. We started out with singing cowboys, and now look how gritty and adult westerns have become. Now they have what they call pocket westerns. People just go to a ghost town and make a western, shoot them up, and they're 20-minute movies. Well, horror has become that way too, and it both ruined and saved the industry, because right now movies like Halloween are hitting the theater, and I couldn't name, because it's not really my favorite genre. I like working being in it but not watching it. So it's very easy to draw someone getting hurt. I don't like to see it. I'm like, is it over yet?
Me too.
But it became a pocket genre along with sports and martial arts. I just got done working on a martial arts film as well called The Martialist with Cliff Cupper and a number of giant martial arts figures. And it's like a celebration of the heroes in martial arts and what they do, how they save their communities, the special feelings that they have behind their art, the passion. That's become prevalent in the industry for horror and Western right now. And I haven't done too much Western work. I would love to do something with that. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
But horror is a very passionate industry. You'll find grandmas, old grandmas, will turn around and be like, "Oh yeah, my first movie was Psycho, and I loved everything, blah 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 blah, and then I love it when his head got cut off, and you know, blah, blah, this is how we do the exploding arm, and you're like, ew, but you know,
it is.
It's work.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
and for those of you that don't know, he's also a former heavyweight champion.
Yes,
wrestler.
I loved wrestling. It was it was a lot of fun. This was back in the days when it was like a circus train. You could start in one city and take a bus to another city, pick up work, and then a promoter might call you from further on down the line. You go, the promoter says, well, we can't use you, but we'll be back in town in a week or two. So you pick up work at a Christmas tree lot or a moving company or roustabout, and then go back to work again, sleep in the car, sleep in the locker room, you know, that kind of thing. Cheeseburger, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever, you know, whatever got you through the day. But I enjoyed it because I love people, and I like the idea of walking up to a fan, pretending to bite them or grab them or play with them or sign whatever they like and entertaining them. Whether it's a dumb joke or a card trick or whatever, twist of a phrase, you know, I enjoy seeing people smile. And between acting and wrestling and working in comics and movies, you know, I like stretching a little bit, and I'm working in cards as well now. I'm going to be painting baseball cards for Topps.
Oh, wow.
And I just signed a deal the other day where I'm going to be doing cards for the new set based on the band Kiss. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, so I'm going to be doing that. Very much enjoyed, you know, again, it's a form of entertainment. You know, I'm an entertainer, you know. Hopefully one day I'll die on stage and that'll be my best performance ever. Not being able to repeat it, but it'll be my best performance ever.
Oh, not for a long time, Rusty.
We'll see about that.
So, let's see. You also have your own, you started your Mac in Trouble comic based on your cat. So tell us about it.
I love animals. I've donated at least 30 to 40% of everything I've made for many years to animal charities, ASPCA, Humane Society, local charities. Sometimes I'll pick up, fans will come to shows, and I have this little banner that I put online, and it says convention special, bring food or treats or toys, and I give them free prints. So like a lot of artists, we have books of our artwork on the table, and prints, originals, whatever, books. But I have a secret stash under the table that no one ever sees. I never sell them. Somebody brings me like a can of cat food, or one lady brought me a case of cat food. It was like 25, 30 cans. I gave her free books and gave her a shirt and on and on and on. We'll sometimes drive to like animal shelters and drop stuff off in the middle of the night. Sometimes we'll bring it to their functions and make them included in their donations to make them the tally better. Sometimes I'll go online and I'll donate like $200 from a project, like an Indiegogo we do for our books, or a Kickstarter, and I'll donate a percentage of the money because that's where it's going to go anyway. It has. I'm the one of those people that believes it comes from the top. where a lot of people say it comes from profit or it comes after, you know, your margins are met. I like to give it right from the top because $10 is $10. It's not worth as much as $7 or $3 later.
Right.
You know, that is still money, but those are people I think that look for glory and look for a glad hand in return. I don't look for anything. I just want to, you know, if I'm going to give, you're going to give. You know, and that's what we do. And we also do a lot of, well,
you really are.
I like doing a lot of charity stuff also. I do stuff with the American Heart Association and a company called Comic Book Covers for Cancer, and another charity that's for artists that raises awareness of artists called the Inkwell Awards under a huge pro named Bob Almond. So I like to donate. I came from a very, very poor family, really, like really bad.
I remember you telling me.
It was in Brooklyn, New York, and to me, it meant something for me to climb and to be able to do certain things. I'm not the biggest fish in the pond, but I'm very proud of like what I've done, and I like to give back in some way. So hopefully, regardless of whatever I do, maybe that will go down as being my legacy, is being able to help people. That's all I'm interested in.
Wow, that's beautiful. So because you are involved with so many different projects, sometimes simultaneously, where do you like to recharge and regroup and just?
You know, it's a hard question. It's an easy question to ask. It's a hard question to answer. Some people will say they work 9 to 5 and then they go home, put their feet up, watch TV. Some people will say they play games or they go on the computer, blah, blah, blah. I have a bad back injury from when I wrestled and been having problems with my legs. So I'm a homebody. I don't really go out very much. I'll wake up in the morning, go into the studio. I have a studio at home for like the past 25, 30 years. So I go into the studio and I work. I like what I do. I guess it's like almost like an addiction. I'll put the TV on and work. When I'll take breaks and I'll watch the TV. So my recharges come on the way. Think of a runner being in like a marathon. They'll stop at a water station. They'll stop to grab a couple of aspirin or do a stretch or something. That's my intermissions as I go along. I'll work until late at night. Sometimes I'll work 24 straight. And I have more than one project. I don't take away anything from anybody. Everybody does something different. Artists will say they get inspired. I was inspired to draw this Bob Ross looking beautiful painting with trees and squirrels and let's put a little bush down here, blah, blah, blah. I don't have that luxury. I have to wake up and do artwork and meet a deadline. Whether I'm inspired, you know, I've drawn with a broken hand, I've drawn with in a hospital bed, I've drawn on the back seat of cars, on planes, buses. You have to do it because I'm a deadline. I've actually woken up, opened up all the presents with the kids under the tree, and then went to work, and then had dinner, and then stayed up all the way until the 27th.
Goodness.
Sometimes that's what happens. I'm not saying that I'm, you know, better than anybody else. I'm sure millions of people do the same thing, but it's the perception. People don't get it. I recharge along the way. That's about. I guess that's probably the Reader's Digest answer. So what's coming up for you? You're working on new projects right along? I have 2 movies. I just got done doing the artwork for a movie by Matt Burns and Mark Byrne called Bigfoot, and I'm working on another one called Bottom Creek, which is another horror movie. And Jim Crut, who's a guest here from Dawn of the Dead, who's a dear friend of ours, he's in both. And I'm going to be making an appearance next week at the 4 State Comic-Con in Hagerstown, Maryland. So I'm doing, I did a poster of Jim a la Dawn of the Dead for that show. And then I have 2 sets of baseball cards, the KISS set, and I have a space set from a company called Viceroy that I'm working on. And I have 1 book that I'm inking, and I have 2 books that we're releasing through my own studio.
Wow.
All that has to be done by January 1st.
Oh my heavens. My goodness.
It sounds like a lot, but when you wake up every day and this is all that you do, you flush it out quick. You have to. You have to.
It must be a very good multitasker, that's for sure.
Well, sometimes
keep it all straight.
Sometimes taking a break from one job means starting the other one.
Oh my God. So remind people where they can follow you and maybe get some artwork if you do that kind of stuff.
You know, it's a lot of times people will say you can find me on Etsy, you can see my store, go to blah blah blah.com. I'm kind of like a single-minded guy. I try to make everything very easy because I know it's very complicated. I tell people to go on Facebook and look up my name. I post work from all the films and the movies and all the card sets and whatever, cat pictures and silly stuff. And you can find anything out there. People can talk to me live. I answer questions all the time from all over the world, and I give away free artwork and
all the time. You do.
So it's on Facebook, so you can look me up on Facebook. That's it. I mean, I have sites and whatever, but they're all linkable from there.
Okay.
So that way it keeps it easy.
That's beautiful. Do we have time for a game? I'm going to play a game with you, Rusty, because I didn't get to play a game with you before.
Do I get to keep my clothes on?
Well,
we'll edit that out. That's okay.
I'm going to play a brand new game I've never played.
Okay.
But I can tell you right now, it's a very dirty game.
All right.
So what we do is, this is the question card, and then these are the answer cards.
Okay.
So you pick a question, and then you pick the answer cards, and then you choose the best answer.
All right. Let's see. And I'm one of those deal from the bottom of the deck guys, so I'm going to do that.
I'm a middle kind of girl.
When, insert name, was a child he or she used to draw pictures of?
And now here's your answer cards. So you pick 3, and then you pick the best card.
All right. I'm a little leery here. I'm hoping
I know,
that it's...
I'm telling you, it's a dirty game. I'm probably going to get the worst of it all.
Whoa, you were right. I like this game. Where's my copy?
I know you would.
Now the only thing that needs to be, there needs to be little pictures underneath. That would keep me up all night. Wow.
Okay, Rusty.
Am I allowed to say what the answers are?
Sir,
oh
yes,
my
absolutely.
God. When Rusty was a child, he or she, let's go with he, used to draw pictures of testosterone, ass lynching, or chicks with dicks.
Oh.
I'm probably going to say... The real answer would probably be testosterone with all the comics I've worked on. But
really?
Chicks with dicks and ass lynching needs a little bit further explanation. That's hysterical.
It's too much.
That's hysterical. I got to do this again.
I'm going to say Harry likes to count blank to help him fall asleep at night. Ghetto girls, sexy role playing, or backseat banging.
Wow.
Oh, God.
I got a second question.
My poor son. Harry likes to count backseat banging to help him fall asleep.
It's one of those kind of shows. Okay, Rusty says he watched a new reality TV series last night. America's Got Condoms, America's Got Lesbians, or America's Got Whacking Off. I don't know. These all kind of go. Hopefully, America's Got Condoms if they've got the whacking off going on.
Please help keep down them STDs. Okay, let's see. Allyson got pulled over by the police today and was caught with a large assortment of blank in the trunk.
Uh-oh.
A double-ended dildo, a nudist colony, or a wife swapping. I'm gonna go with a nudist colony.
Oh, okay. The safe answer, not the real answer, but the safe answer.
Oh my God, we've had so much fun hanging with Rusty today. I'm Allyson Murray, but before we go, we would like to give a very special thank you to our partners at Krypton Radio out of LA, Famous Faces and Funnies, Off the Chain Radio with Yvonne Mason, Space Coast Comics, Asylum Convention Entertainment Services with Heather Reed, our really good friends at Embellish FX out of Orlando, Florida. These are the folks that share our videos all over the World Wide Web, and we hope you will too. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, let us know what you think of today's show and our guests. You can also check our guest links below. Remember to subscribe, log on, and stay tuned to see who we're hanging with next. Thank you so much.